Hello, this is Giovanni Leonor, and today we will be doing our third video in this series in how to better understand why it is that some relationships fall apart and what you can do to help your relationship, sustain your relationship, and grow your relationship. Today's topic is manipulation. If you look up in the Webster's Dictionary, you're going to find a definition that may say something like this: using skillful tactics to gain an upper hand in dialogue or business dealings with a person or groups to favor yourself. That's a definition that can be applied in a number of different settings. The definition that I'm going to give you today is a definition that I've put together over 20 years of running these programs, and I've applied it, and I've seen it work positively, and I've seen me use it negatively in my 27-year-old relationship with my wife, Kimberly. So let's begin with giving you the definition of manipulation in the realm of an intimate relationship, or a relationship that you're hoping to grow, or a relationship you're hoping to sustain. So here it goes. Manipulation is withholding privileged information for personal gain that, if released, would have changed the outcome. I will repeat it in case you want to write this down. Withholding privileged information for personal gain that, if released, would have changed the outcome. I'm going to share with you a situation that actually took place in my life. I have the privilege of working with one of my best friends, Scott Lowe, and this situation involved him. He enjoys movies and video games, and from time to time I enjoy going to the movies myself. And one day he calls me up and he says, "Hey Giovanni, let's go see this movie together." And I was quite excited to go see the movie. It was an interesting movie that I had wanted to see. And so we made a schedule appointment for a Sunday for us to go. When I get off the phone with Scott, my wife overheard the conversation and she says, "Oh, I wanted to go to that movie with you." And I said, anybody that knows me knows I usually fall asleep during movies. It's a comfortable environment, it's dark. But nevertheless, my wife said, "You go ahead and see the movie with Scott." I said, "Kimberly, listen, we can see the movie twice. For me, it'll be like seeing it once." She chuckled a bit. She goes, "No, that's okay. You can go see the movie with Scott." So I agreed to go with Scott, and the days were coming closer and closer to that Sunday that we were going to go to the movies. A day before, he calls me up, and Scott says, "Hey, G, something came up and I need to cancel." I was a little bit let down, but nevertheless, I said, "No problem." And so shortly after that conversation, I went to my wife and I said, "Kimberly, how badly did you want to see that movie?" And she says, "Well, really bad. I wanted to see it with you." And I was like, "You know what? Let's go see it." Now, you already know what I was doing. I was withholding privileged information that Scott had canceled on me. So I said to her, "Yeah, you know what? Let's go see it, you and me." She goes, "How about Scott?" She says, "You know what? Don't worry about Scott. Let's you and I go see that movie." So I withheld privileged information for personal gain. What was I gaining? Well, I'll tell you what I was gaining. Not the movie, not a date. I was gaining the fact that my wife felt like she was number one, that she was my first choice, that she was special enough for me to cancel the date with Scott to go out to the movies with her. Well, we went to the movies, had a great time, came back home. A couple days later, Scott stops by my house. And some of you who know me know that I like beef jerky. He came with a bag of beef jerky. And he says, "Hey, G, I brought you this jerky to make up for canceling on you." You already know where this is going. "For canceling on you last Sunday." My wife was in the living room and she overheard the conversation. After he left, she said, "So, Scott canceled on you, not you on Scott." And quickly I said, "Well, I never said I canceled on Scott. That's called avoidance." And so she said, "So let me make this clear. I was not your first choice, right?" "Oh, honey, you're always my first choice." Avoidance again. She said, so let me just ask you one question. When were you going to tell me that Scott had canceled on you? At that point, it was very clear to her, it had been clear to me from the beginning, that I had manipulated her. In fact, I withheld privileged information that if I had released, would have changed the outcome. The outcome might not have changed in reference to going to the movies with my wife, but the outcome of her feeling important, feeling number one, feeling like she was my first choice, that outcome would have changed. If I had told her that Scott canceled on me, honey, do you still want to go? Now, that would have been the honest thing to do. That should have been the transparent thing to do, but it wasn't what I did. And obviously the consequences came. And of course, we worked it through. But understanding that when you use deceitfulness to manipulate your partner or a friend, that will slowly but surely chip away at the core of the relationship. Trust eventually is gone, and what's left is a mere image of what it once was. So I encourage you to do this. Apply the fact that manipulation, as you've always thought it be, it really is different in the realm of a relationship. It is withholding privileged information for personal gain that, if released, would have changed the outcome. So what you want to do is full transparency and disclosure. You know, in the world that we live in today, it's kind of hard sometimes to be transparent. Everyone wants to put their best foot forward. Everybody wants to give the best impression. Many people are one way at home, one way outside of the home. It's challenging to remember who to be at what location or with whom. My challenge to you, and it's the same challenge I apply to myself, is try to be you. Try to be the same person in all settings. Try to be transparent, especially with relationships that you want to grow, especially with relationships that you want to heal and salvage, especially with relationships that you want to last. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to our next video. Till then.